Welcome, dear students. Today we are going to start with Unit 1 of Java, that is Introduction to Java. What topics today we are going to cover? The topics are why we need to study Java programming, what is the history behind the Java, features of the Java programming language, comparison of Java and C++ programming language. So let us begin with the first topic, that is why Java. Before Java, C++ was very popular object-oriented programming language. You have already studied the C++ in your second year. But due to widespread use of internet, Java became widely used and became popular. Now what does this mean? Java supports the features for development of the applications. Those applications can be accessible over the internet. Due to that, people started the use of Java programming language for development of the applications accessible over the internet. That means development of web applications or websites. So due to that, Java is nowadays also used for development of applications accessible over the internet. The main motivation behind the development of Java programming language was to develop these softwares for embedded electronic devices like microwaves, televisions, washing machines. So Java programming is actually developed was actually developed for the development of the softwares for these devices, but later on it is used for development of websites also. So C++ has limited features. Due to that, the Java is now popular programming language. Now what is the history behind the Java? The Java is developed by a team and James Gosling is one of the team members. So other team members are Patrick Norton, Chris Wark, Ed Frank, Mike Sheridan, and it is developed in Sun Microsystems in the year 1991. The people has given the name Oak to Java programming. Initially, the name was Oak, and later on, the name Java is given in 1995. It took 18 months to be developed, and as I said, the motivation behind the development of Java programming language is to create the embedded softwares for consumer electronic devices. Now the Java is product of the Oracle. It is not with the Sun Microsystems. It is the product of Oracle. What are the features of Java? The list is given in front of you. One by one, we are going to discuss these features. Java is simple programming language. Why it is simple programming language? If we compare C++ and Java, in C++ there are some concepts like preprocessors or pointers. That concept is not given in the Java. Means pointers are not used in the Java or not given in the Java. Also, preprocessor concept is not there in the Java. Then again there are some complicated terms which are there in C++. Those are removed in the Java. Hence, Java is simple programming language. Java is object-oriented language. It is pure object-oriented language. Now, what does this mean? Whenever you want to write even a single statement in a Java program, you must write that statement in class only. Hence, it is purely object-oriented language. So, whatever features are there in object orientation like encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance, all those features are given in Java. Hence, it is object-oriented. Distributed means what? Whenever you develop any application which is accessible over the network, that application must support the protocols of the network like TCP/IP, UDP. So Java supports these features, the features or protocols. Hence, the applications which are distributed over the network, that application development is easy in Java. Then interpretation, whenever you write any Java program, that is compiled as well as interpreted. There is two phase execution, compilation and then interpretation. So Every Java program is always interpreted by the JVM, and then you will get the output. So it improves the performance of the program execution. Java is robust programming language. The major causes of the application failures are runtime errors and memory mismanagement. And Java is strongly typed language. Type checking is carried out at two times, compile time as well as runtime, making sure that the types are compatible. Hence, the Java is robust programming language. Also in Java, there is a support of automatic garbage collection which manages memory automatically. You don't have to explicitly reclaim the memory of the objects which are not used for longer duration. So due to that also Java became robust language. Java is architecture neutral. Architecture neutral means what? Java compiler compiles the source code and generates the bytecode, and that bytecode is interpreted by the JVM, which will give you actual output of the program. So bytecode is architecture neutral. That means it does not depend on any platform. That means that same bytecode can execute on Linux OS or Mac OS or Windows OS. You don't have to compile that program again and again at the time of getting output. Hence it is said architecture neutral. Then Java is portable. Why it is portable? It is portable due to use of interpretation and JVM. The Java interpreter for JVM can be ported on any computer, and this ensures that all the code compiled for it will run on that system. So due to JVM portability is increased, the bytecode is portable on any platform. The performance of Java programming applications are good, and why that performance is good? Because Java support the features like multi-threading and just-in-time compilation, and due to that, the performance of applications is good because in multi-threading, the application is having multiple tasks. Those tasks can be executed at the same time using multiple threads. Hence, the performance of application is very good in Java. The high performance after that there is a multi-threading. So multi-threading is what, as I said, whenever you want to execute more than one task at the same time, then you can create multi-threaded application in Java. So multi-threaded application means what? You can create multiple threads in an application. You assign multiple tasks to those multiple threads, and those can be executed at the same time. Java is designed to adapt the ever-changing environment. Means what? Whenever there is a program execution going on, so during execution of the program, Java can dynamically load the changes in the program. Uh, they're loading the required classes. Hence, the Java is dynamic. That means if you want to do changes in the program, you can easily incorporate those changes in the program of the Java. Hence, it is said to be dynamic. And secure means what? Uh, Java has many built-in classes. Java is rich of library, and in that library, the many security features are incorporated. Hence, the Java is more robust and secure programming language. So all these are the features. How many features are there? You count it. You memorize all the features. First you understand and you remember the names of all the features. So what are the features? Simple, object oriented, distributed, interpreted, robust, architecture neutral, portable, high performance, multi-threaded, dynamic and secure. Now next point is comparison of Java and C++. There are number of comparison points in Java and C++. Some things are provided in Java, those are new. In C++, there are certain limitations as Java is developed after C++. So Java has many new things which are not there in the C++. The very first line is what? First differentiating point. Java is pure object-oriented language, whereas C++ is hybrid between procedural and object-oriented language. What does this mean? Whenever you write any Java program, all the members in that Java program must be returned inside the class only. You have to write any statement, then that statement must be in the class only. Then in C++, this is not the case. You can write outside the class also. Hence it is said hybrid. That means it is procedural as well as object oriented. Whereas C is the procedural programming language. All the methods are part of the class in Java. Whereas in C++ you can write method outside the class. Java does not support multiple inheritance. C++ support multiple inheritance. Now why Java does not support? Because in Java it is not allowed to use two classes as base class. You have to compulsory use one class and one interface as a base if you want to implement multiple inheritance in Java. Whereas in C++, you can use two classes as base and you can make use of the virtual keyword in C++. Hence, it supports the multiple inheritance. Java does not support operator overloading. That concept is there in the C++. And in Java, whenever you want to pass any object to the function, then it is always passed by the reference. By default, that functionality is there. Whereas in C++, objects can be passed by value as well as through reference. There is no explicit pointer manipulation or arithmetic in Java, whereas C++ support pointer arithmetic. Why? Because in C++ there is a concept of pointer. That concept is not there in the Java. Hence it doesn't support the pointer arithmetic. And due to that, the array referencing internally, whenever arrays are referenced in the memory, the pointers are used in C++. That concept is not there in the Java. As there is no use of the pointer in Java, the array references are not translated to pointer arithmetic in Java programming language. In multi-dimensional arrays of the Java, the array lengths can vary from one element to next element in one dimension. Whereas in C++, whenever you declare any multi-dimensional array, the array lengths in that multi-dimensional array must be same. In Java, strings are by default treated as objects, whereas in C++, strings are null terminated character arrays. Java support the plus as built-in string concatenation operator, and in C++, whenever you want to perform any operation on the string, you have to use built-in function. In Java, there is automatic garbage collection, whereas in C++, there is no automatic garbage collection. Now, what does this mean? As I said again earlier also, the Java compiler checks the objects which are not used for longer time, and the memory of those objects can be freed automatically. This is not the case in C++. So C++ don't support automatic garbage collection. The programmer has to implement garbage collection in C++ by writing the code. The Java application execution done through two phases, compilation and interpretation, whereas in C++ the application is only compiled and then you will get the, if there is no error, then you will get the output. So in Java, compilation happens, then bytecode generated, and then that bytecode is interpreted by the JVM. Java is architecture neutral and C++ is architecture specific. We have already discussed this point. Due to bytecode, Java became architecture neutral, and C++ don't have the concept of bytecode. So it is architecture specific. Means what? If you write any application in C++ and you want to execute that application on 5 machines, so every time on every machine you have to compile that and then you will get the output. Whereas in Java, You compile only on one machine, say that machine has Windows OS, you compile that application on Windows OS and you'll get the bytecode, and if you execute that bytecode on 5 different machines with 5 different operating systems, then also you can see the output, because there is a concept of interpretation in Java. Java supports the new concept of interfaces that is not there in C++. As well as in Java, multi-threading is provided. C++ don't support multi-threading. Java has built-in support to web-based applications. At the beginning only we discussed about this. In C++, there is no support of features like servlet, JSP, applet. All these features are used whenever you want to develop any web application, and these features are incorporated in Java. Those are not available in C++. There is no use of the preprocessor in Java. In C++, there is a heavy reliance on preprocessor. Preprocessor means hash define, hash include. These concepts are not there in Java. There is a concept of packages in Java, whereas in C++ the packages are not there. The header files which are processed by the preprocessor, that concept is given in C++. Java as well as C++ both supports the break and continue statements. But what is the difference between these two in these two different programming languages? Java supports labeled break and continue, whereas C++ don't support labeled break and continue. That means for break statement and continue statement, we can make use of the label. That labels are not provided in C++. C++ supports the type def for creating the new types. That is not there in the Java. Type def is not supported in Java. Structures and unions, this concept is also not there in the Java, whereas C++ has the concept of structures and union. And Java has 3 types of comments. C++ only have 2 types of the comments. What are the 3 types of the comments in Java? Single line, multi-line, and Java doc comment. Java doc is additional comment added in Java, and C++ has only 2 types of the comments: single line and multi-line comment. So we discussed about the differences between Java and C++. Before that, we discussed about the features of the Java programming language. We discussed the history. It is developed by Sun Microsystem in 1991, and James Gosling is the one of the developers of Java programming language, and there are some other people also. And initial name Oak, then it is renamed to Java in 1995. And before that, we studied today why we are going for the Java programming language for development of websites, web applications, applications which are accessible over the internet and which are distributed over the internet. Those applications can be easily developed in the Java, and Java is object-oriented language. Hence, nowadays, instead of C++, we are referring to Java programming language. So we studied all these topics today. If you have any doubt, you note down all your doubts on your notebook and you share those queries in the Google Classroom. We'll have discussion over there. Thank you so much.